Good evening, Pete. How are you doing today?
Alex, I'm just glad to be alive after the fiasco that we went through on Sunday.
No, we were fine. Nothing happened. Happy December, everyone. It's December 1st.
It do be December
We're
1st.
we're almost crossing the 2020 finish line.
Yo, right?
You know?
2020 was a year and a half, bro.
Yeah. I personally don't believe in participation awards, but for those of you who made it through 2020, you deserve a star. You know what I'm saying?
A little
You
star
deserve
on
like
your,
a
on your
little
like on your lapel or
merit
whatever.
badge that says I made it through 2020.
Yo, yeah, 2020.
Happy Thanksgiving to everyone. If you're not American,
Awkward.
shut up. Happy Thanksgiving. No, happy Thanksgiving. Everyone deserves to be thankful, to be happy, to be positive. This is a universal thing. It's not American exclusive, Pete.
Preach.
What?
I said preach.
Yeah. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and everyone and everything in between, welcome to the Stay Positive Podcast, episode 20-something. I'm Alex.
I'm Pete, coming at you from 200 miles away from Alex, the usual.
The usual, but not for long. Almost the holidays. Wait, are you
True
staying?
that.
Are you staying in Boston for Christmas? Or
No,
winter break?
I bet you wish I did, didn't you?
Uh,
A little bit.
no comment. No comment.
Tiny part of him.
Your company is valued, Pete.
My company is valued.
Is a valuable thing to me. Your actions, on the other
Appreciate
hand,
it.
are a separate entity in and of themselves. But we don't need to talk about that. We're human. We're human. We're allowed. We get one. You know what I'm saying? We get one of those types of things.
Get one what?
What?
Get one what?
Just one. You get one, Pete. You don't get another.
Okay, word.
Pete,
All right.
what was the last thing you ate today? Don't lie.
Granola.
Granola. That's pretty boring, Pete, not gonna lie.
It is kind of boring, man. I haven't really been
Eating food.
eating well, sleeping well. I've been just
Working.
exorbitantly stressed the last few weeks with work. No, I'm not a working class American citizen, by the way. I'm still a student, but I had like an okay amount of schoolwork, but all the other projects I'm working on, a lot of work.
I honestly, in my opinion, I think the real world it's different. In college, it's a different environment altogether. Because in the real world, you have to worry about real life. You have to worry about rent. You have to worry about food. You have to work because you don't get you don't have a student cafeteria to just gorge yourself every day. But at the same time, you don't have to worry about Mr. and Mrs. Professor judging you on your freaking essays and exams.
You're giving me PTSD right now.
I mean, when I started working, I honestly was shocked at how not stressed out I was. And I honest to God, I think just because Boston University is just a really... at least when I was there, it was a really grueling school.
What are you trying to say? What are you trying to say right now?
I'm not there anymore, so it could have gotten better. It could have gotten worse.
I know, I'm playing with you. I'm messing around.
The main thing is, it obviously also depends on what you do. I was doing economics and computer science, which economics is really dry and computer science is really time consuming. So, and I kept being told that those were the two departments that or one of the top departments that Boston was really trying to hammer in, making it one of the noteworthy curriculums. So lucky me that I got to be there when they were forcing it to be as hard as it can be.
Lucky you indeed. Well, you survived it. That's the most important part.
Yeah. I think that's the funny thing is because after that, it was downhill. And it's probably just because I haven't found that dream job yet. But my current job, which I love dearly, it's it's work, but it's not hard work. You know what I'm saying? Like, and
Mm.
I honest to God think it's because there's no grading. There's no pass or fail. It's literally just do this, and I'm like, okay, and then I do
Tasks,
it.
yeah.
One of the
Yeah, I
worst,
mean,
yeah, I don't know about you, but for me personally, I hate being told to do something. I think it's human nature. Like, if you tell someone to do something, they're less inclined to do it than if they
oh,
just
for
tell
sure.
themselves to do it.
People won't do stuff they don't want to do, man.
Yeah, but like stuff like cleaning or like learning, even learning, for example, like in the point of school is to learn stuff, right? But I feel like
Ah,
I've learned more, well, to learn and to socialize and
ah,
other things with liquid refreshments.
ah.
You're 21, you know what I'm talking about.
I have no idea. I couldn't possibly know what you're talking about,
It's true. I can see the
nor will
halo
I
over your
ever.
head.
You can see the halo over my head?
Yeah, the
Dude, I'm a modern day saint.
it's true. Um but it's just like when I wanted to, like, or rather just because instead of being graded, I was being told literally do this, and if I didn't know how to do something, I would learn it, and once I've learned it, there we go, now I know it. Whereas in school, in university, it was more like, okay, you need to know this. I'm like, but I don't care. And obviously I wouldn't say that, but it
You would think
really,
it. You would feel it. Yeah.
I would feel, yeah, because it's
Every
like,
student knows exactly what we are talking about.
it's
And
true.
don't even try to front and say that you haven't felt that feeling before because we know you have.
That's true. Suffice to say, while I do miss certain aspects of university, I am relatively happy not being there anymore.
Yeah,
um,
I've found that a lot of people post college are just way happier.
I mean,
Or not like way happier, but I feel like the people that they enjoyed school for the purpose of learning. At least myself, I enjoy school only for the purpose of learning, but otherwise, I really don't enjoy it
I
at all.
mean, the
Uh,
connections you've made, the friends you've made are also
yeah,
valuable.
but I mean also if I'm learning about something that I thoroughly enjoy, it's a topic that I think is really cool or really useful to society, then yeah, that'll I feel like I'm making good use of my time, right? But
Right.
if I'm just learning about, I don't know, for me personally, like Victorian architecture, which to some people might be the coolest shit in the world, but for me, I couldn't give any less of a concern of mine for it. You know? That's
Pete.
just like,
Yeah, yeah.
no, it doesn't, it's just not my cup of tea, right? And there are a lot of subjects like that for a lot of different people.
It's true. I mean,
You know what I'm
everyone
saying?
knows Gothic architecture is where it's at, but
Shut up, I hate you.
Pete, Gothic architecture is the greatest. Don't even like
All right,
try
why?
to argue with
Why?
that.
Why?
Why? Because it looks cool.
Yeah, okay. That was a terrible response.
What do you mean? That's a terror. That's what is the point of architecture? Is to look good and to do its job, which is being a building.
It has historic monumental precedence for future of architecture.
Yeah, that too, but nobody really cares about
Sets
that.
the precedence. Okay. Well, anyways, what I want to know is what was your favorite thing and least favorite thing to study in college?
Most favorites, I really like programming. Like I studied computer science on a complete whim. My dad, I was studying economics because I was going to lean more into business, and my dad recommended that I try a programming course because technology is the future. And up until that moment, I've never taken a programming course in my life. So I took one, and I really liked it. Like, I was like, "Whoa, this is cool." And this is technology. This it's opening Pandora's box. It's like, now I know, I can see everything. I know how the technology works. I know how my phone works. I
Mm.
know how to build stuff, build programs, build software. I know how my video games work. It was just that feeling of, now I know how things work, It's probably like how a physicist feels when they understand like how gravity works to its fullest extent.
Mm.
It's eye opening, and it also helps that I'm pretty good at it. I probably
Whoa,
wouldn't be
you're a
so
cool cat.
inclined to it if I didn't have a knack for it when I tried it the first time.
No, let me say something. Alex is not the type of guy that goes to sleep with his laptop next to him every single day, but I will say he's like one of the more talented programmers I've ever met in my life. I mean, just I'm not going to try to make you grow your head to the size of Alaska right now, but your ability to really look at something when it comes to coding and just figure out how to do it without having any prior knowledge, that's like one of the most impressive things to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, thank you, Pete. That's really nice of you to say.
For real though, I mean, it's a lot. It's really hard for a lot of people. You have to have some kind of truly inherent talent to be able to do stuff like that. You know?
I feel like the thing about programming that I really liked, one was its practicality. It's like when it comes to reporting or creating an app for something, or it's like I can see its uses, you know what I'm saying? Like I know
Mm.
what this is good for. When I was
Yeah.
studying economics, I was just like I okay. I was literally going to my guidance counselor. I'm like, "What do I use this for?" And he was like, "You can use it for whatever you want." I'm like, "Great answer. That helps me figure my life
Horrible
out."
answer.
And yeah, I took it on a whim. I really liked it, and after I finished all the economic stuff, because I was already what's the expression? I was in too deep. Yeah, that's it. I was in
Yeah.
too
Yeah.
deep. So I was like, well, I'm already this far in. I might as well just finish it. And after that, I was like, okay, I still have like a year and a half left. Let's do some computer science. And here I am today, a minimum wage programmer, living the dream. I love my job
Very much, right?
very much.
To be fair, the job that you do is not at all what a real programmer should and could be doing.
Well, no, programming is like anything. It's like computer science is like any other sciences. There's so many different things you can do it. My main thing is reporting. You know, if I create automatic reports, that's programming. I could
Well,
also
of
be
course.
programming like microchips into I don't know, elevator, I don't know, or computer chips. I could do that. I could partner with you as an electrical engineer and create the next best microchip. Apple
You
came out
wanna
with
you
one.
wanna Hey man, they did. Apple, it's gonna be Apple, Intel, AMD.
What?
Nvidia is also a competitor, but they make GPUs. And fun fact, actually, one of my friends, and he will be on here in the future, and we're gonna talk a lot about Bitcoin. Stay tuned, peeps. Um, he works for the guy that invented the GPU at my school,
The GPU.
as in like the first graphics processing unit. The guy that invented it at the University of Michigan, when he was young young lad, he
Like
invented it.
50 years ago.
I don't know how long ago was it, but he's a very intelligent guy. And anyways, he runs a certain lab at our school, and yeah, my friend, he works for him.
Nice.
Isn't that kind of crazy? But yeah. So anyways, Nvidia makes GPUs. They don't necessarily fall into the same category because CPU GPU is different. But that's all just computer pish posh. The point is, it's a little hard to make a really, really good CPU or GPU, Alex. So I don't know if that'll be like the optimum job for us at this very moment
I
between you
mean,
and I.
you never know.
Okay, so your least favorite was what though? Did you say that? Was it the
No,
economics
no.
classes
So
or
my
no?
least favorite, I always really struggled in all my economics classes. Not necessarily grade wise, more so just like I would understand the concepts and I still retain some of the knowledge for some of them even to this day, but it's like I didn't see what my future would be with this. It's I can cuz economics is considered a social science similar to psychology.
Right.
So it's mainly to study like patterns and behavior, which is fine. You know, it's important. I won't say it's not, but it is. It's one of those things that it's like now you know it. Now what? You know?
Now what?
Yeah, no. And I get it. You can continue researching and you can make progress cuz you can always make a great discovery in something, but I personally am not the biggest fan of research, especially unless it's something I'm really passionate in. Like I'm really interested in like DNA and that kind of stuff, so I probably would be really interested in researching that.
I actually didn't know
But
that you were interested in that stuff. Crazy.
yeah, but my friend actually he asked me a question. It's like if robot body parts and technology became real, would they be allowed to participate in sports, in professional sports?
Would wait if robots
No, no, no.
became
If I could get like a robot arm or robot
ah?
legs, would I be allowed to be a professional athlete? And
What do you constitute as a robot arm or leg though?
like a functioning like sci-fi leg that works like my own but doesn't have the drawbacks of being organic.
So a prosthetic limb.
Yeah, but it connects to my nerves like a normal leg.
Ah, okay.
Because they're making advancements in that technology where for prosthetics it, it's still in its infancy, but they
Of
managed to
course.
make hands that can react to your brain and they can move your fingers,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
albeit simply, but that's still remarkable, like at all, to make something fake be reacting to your mind.
So you're asking me if I think that people should be able to participate in sports with those, we'll say, lifelike prosthetic limbs connected to your nervous system.
Yeah. My argument is no, because they are both not biologically, they're superior because of the technological advancement. And I said the only solution would be to create another league for robot people.
I disagree with you. I'd say that if you can if you can set the settings, if you can create a certain parameter or set of parameters with which those limbs, those new limbs, can operate within the same standards as regular limbs, human limbs that we're accustomed to right now, then you should still be able to. However, I say that if you want to introduce a new league, then you can do that without the need for any boundaries or barriers like with which those things can operate. And then we can see like the true extent of human cyborg uh, athletic ability, right?
Yeah,
But
but like robot bionic, not bionic, or is that the right word?
I guess
Bi-
we'll go with that one.
no, robotic parts don't fatigue like human parts.
Yeah, I know.
So they are superior whether you like it or not.
True.
And my argument was
Well,
just make
there
another
definitely will
league
be.
for them.
Yeah, there definitely will be need for another league. Yo, that's freaking interesting. I actually think that that's how sports will go in the future. And even the people that don't need extra limbs, they will still try to figure out a way to adjust their bodies to adapt to those. It essentially will become a race of cyborgs.
Eh,
How did we get here, by the way?
it's called conversation, Pete. It can go anywhere. Speaking of which, I answered my how I liked my courses that I liked and didn't like so much. How are
Oh
you?
boy.
How's school for you, Pete? Mr. Student, what have you liked and
Mm.
disliked so far?
Okay. Well, my answer is a lot more clear cut.
You like what you're doing now, obviously.
No.
You better hope your teachers don't hear this.
It's okay. They'll, as long as they hear it after my grades come out, then that's all that matters. No. I like the things that I feel like, I think I mentioned this before, but the things that I feel like can benefit me to benefit society. So I don't enjoy, at least this is me personally, but I didn't enjoy some of those humanities courses I took because I didn't feel like they could make as much of an influence. like a tangible influence in our society. And that's my take. Someone else might think totally different, and I
What's
very
an
much
example of a
encourage.
humanities course?
Well, before I tell you, like, I mean, someone can make a very good argument against, and I'd love to hear it. But just from my vantage point right now, I don't see anything that from those kind of course selections that really, in my opinion, would help what I'm doing right now and what I think could benefit people. An example would be this one class I took. It's philosophically, so an example of a course actually is this course called Death and Immortality, and it was a humanities course I took. It was under the religion department, and so you can imagine what it must be about, considering the title and the school that was offering it. But what I didn't like was that you read that course name and the course description, and you think, okay, this is going to be a very philosophically mind-altering course. You're gonna think about a very taboo subject that people don't like to discuss, and you're gonna think about the different ways that it can be viewed. But in reality, what it was just a religious take on death. Every single religion's take on death, and that was it, really. And I was thinking to myself, like, while this is technically this makes sense that this was the course that I signed up for, I didn't really learn much other than, it was almost like a history course.
Yeah, but you got to see different cultures' view on the same principle.
True. And that part I thought was interesting, but that was pretty much the paramount point of my interest, and it still didn't even like pique my interest, to be honest.
Mm.
I can't say thoroughly disappointed, but I definitely expected more from it. And I think that courses like that, like they help you understand people, they help you sympathize with other people of other belief systems. But besides that, like, I didn't really gain much from it, because
And
I would like to think that I can sympathize with people pretty well right now. I mean, if I can't, then someone call me out on it, you included. But
I would
gen-
never, Pete. I would never call you out.
generally, I couldn't see myself really gaining that much from that experience. So that was like one thing, for instance. It was like one of my least favorite classes for
I
sure.
think I think the reason is because I feel these philosophical classes are designed to help teach you how to like think and be open-minded, but you're already thoughtful and open-minded, so you're just sitting there being like, what am I doing here?"
Yeah, pretty much. But here's the thing also. I ran into a similar existential crisis in a lot of my other courses as well, especially in my engineering curriculum, because all of them only teach you the cookie cutter examples and not the stuff that actually happens in real life. Like, the whole thing about engineering is applied math and applied science. And I get that, and that's the whole point of it, right? But we don't learn enough applications in school, which it makes no sense to me. I think this is funny actually, but we do a survey every semester, and they ask how many real world applications do you do, and how many opportunities did you have to take a leadership role in a group project or work on a team. And every time for those, like, on a scale of 1 to 5, I always put 1, because I just feel like it can be done way better, in my opinion.
I mean, I never took an engineering class in university, but I always feel like you need to learn the basics and master those before you build a
100%
rocket to
true.
Mars.
100% true. I totally agree with that. But I feel as though when you're learning something, when you're learning fundamental engineering principles, you're not going to really understand those things truly unless you apply them in the way that they are used in the real world. Like, obviously, if you're in a circuits class, then you're not going to be able to understand how the freaking power grid works in the city of Boston, right? But if
Right.
you're like, this is why they give us labs, right? But some of those labs, even also, like, they're so focused on heavy analysis instead of understanding what is going on in front of you. I'm just thinking, like, why do we need to analyze this so much if we already understand what's going on? Like, if I was able to build this circuit, do I need to show you like 35 different experiments that can explain why the voltage is this at that point and the current is that all over? Like, no. I built the damn thing. It can show you a flashing LED. It's
Yeah.
fine now.
Yeah, I guess.
Those are
Um,
my gripes with education. Because let me tell you something. This right now is not only at our school. Like our school is a very prestigious university, and it's very difficult as well. But this happens all over the place. This is all over the world.
yeah, yeah,
Education is
no,
modeled like this,
you're right.
and I don't like it. But
Pete,
that was really like, kind of like my opinion on what I don't like about it. But what I will say is the stuff that's like on the forefront, while it is so, and you actually want to study this, so we could go into that. But while it is super early stage right now, and I think it could be beneficial to society or like very counter beneficial depending on your take, all the machine learning subjects, I'm fascinated by them. So I took a machine learning class. It kicked my ass, but it was so fun, to be honest. I'm taking another one. It's called natural language processing. It's going to be basically machine learning, but for text. So I'm going to make a chat bot, and you'll never really know if you're talking to me from now on.
basically the Turing test.
Yeah, no. Basically like that.
Yeah.
Except we haven't really made anything that could pass that yet.
You'll
But
you'll be the first, right?
exactly. Those are things I'm really interested in. Those are things I feel like I said, can benefit society. And so I'm genuinely when I see these subjects, when I read about them, either in articles or in the coursework, in the textbooks they give us, I'm genuinely happy to devote my time to it because I think that this will benefit me and this will help me benefit the projects I'm working on, which can hopefully benefit society.
All right. That is a very very nice. Um, I forget the word. Thought provoking. Thought provoking. Is that it? Not
Thought
provoking.
provoking.
Thought. Thought. Not thoughtful.
I
You're
love
giving
I
thought
love
to other people.
I love these little like tidbits of that we just can't speak English and one person's like trying to help the other person finish their sentence.
Thought inducing. There. That's
Oh, that's
that's not the.
hilarious.
That's not what I'm thinking of. That was very thought. Not thought whatever. Screw this. Thought inducing take. That was a very nice thought inducing take, Pete.
Appreciate
While
you.
we've been talking about our favorite classes, I actually just like had a like mind explosion right now with a crazy idea. I'm not even kidding, Pete. I need you to be serious now.
Serious face is on, baby.
I What do you think? What do you think of this idea to like completely perfect the education system in university? If you get a 4.0 GPA, you don't have to pay for the semester.
What in the actual fuck did you just say?
No. Think about this, Pete. Think about this. Like, when I'm working, I usually do my job really well, but that's because it's my job and I'm getting paid to do this. And I was thinking, would I have done a lot better if I was paid to like if like every time I went to class they paid me money to do it. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
thinking I probably would because they're paying me and I have pride in myself. I don't want to get paid for doing a bad job. So if you paid me to go to school, I would be the best dang student you'd ever see. I'd get a 4.1 GPA. That's how good I'd be if I was paid to go to school. Which made me think it's like if you gave the incentive that if you do perfect, you don't have to pay. And every like one GPA point down, you have to pay more per credit. Do you think that would completely change the game of education? Because that would theoretically allow all the poor kids to go to education too. They would just need to be perfect, but they would still be quote unquote allowed to go.
So are you talking about a universal education, as in everybody can attend university, but everyone has to pay unless you get a 4.0 GPA?
I haven't thought about the semanticality. This was just an idea, Pete.
No, I know
I
you had a mind explosion for 10 seconds
Yeah,
of
yeah, no.
if
I'm
you can
just
take
thinking
on the
like
education system.
let obviously the education system and selection system could use some work, but like ignoring that, let's just say it stays the same and people are selected to come to this school by the same criteria they are now. But now that you're here, you're incentivized to do well. And if you don't get above a 3.0 in every semester, then you have to pay full price. And for every 1 point you have to, or unless you have scholarship and all that other good stuff. But if you do higher, you pay less. And if you get 4.0, you don't have to pay at all. I feel like that would really motivate kids to like work really hard in and excel. Not because like here's the thing. You should want to excel on your own merit, but as far as me and Pete we've been through school, it's hard to
You've been
stay
through
in
school.
you yeah, and you're almost done. It is hard to stay interested, especially when you're given a lot of fluff courses. Like I studied economics and computer science. Why am I taking like philosophy courses and English
I
courses?
would have totally taken a philosophy course, FYI.
You did. You took death and immortality.
No, it was a religion course. I would have rather taken like a philosophy 101. But anyways, go on.
I mean, like the point is, there's a lot of like for every major's curriculum, there's always a bunch of extra humanities courses that you don't really need that don't help you in your actual field at all. And there are like electives where
It's a fact.
some of them can be interesting, but sometimes
Eh,
they're not.
eh.
And I'm just thinking, if you're forced to go through with this, how do you get the kids interested when they're not? Well, I think this would really kick them all into overdrive. You know what I'm saying?
But you see, it's a really simplistic concept, but the problem is there are so many factors at play aside from
The
that
main one being that education is an institution, not a public service.
right? And the worst part about it is the institution is the complete overseer, the gatekeeper, the rule maker, the judge. They can decide whether or not to give a person that free tuition based on this new added condition. The problem with it is, like I said, is there's so many things at play. Like you have like you said, people that they can't afford school. That's a huge issue for a lot of people, not only in America but all over the world. There are people in very impoverished nations and states and communities, and they have so much talent, so much educational raw talent, but they have no idea how to get to the US, where we can say objectively the best higher education system exists. There's also the idea of, if you create this more competition, yeah, it incentivizes everybody to be unbelievable students. But what happens if too many people start doing well? Well, the education system is gonna essentially cannibalize itself that way. Because if you try to pay everybody for getting that 4.0, and let's say a school of 3,000 kids, and 1,000 of them get 4.0s because they're working their asses off, like, damn, amazing for that school. But then they're losing a third of their revenue, their tuition, right?
Like I said, I wasn't thinking about like the semanticality. I was thinking more like how do you get kids to care? You know what I'm saying?
Qualitatively, great idea. Here's another thought experiment. Um, the schools try to make their curriculum as hard as possible. At least our school does, because of rankings, because of prestige that it has within the workplace and within graduate institutions as well.
Right.
So these like U.S. News World rankings, they all depend on how difficult the school makes its curriculum, the kind of opportunities that it offers, right? And BU's been steadily increasing the difficulty of the curriculum, as well as like increasing the amount of grade deflation, right? That was a thing while you were going. It's still a thing here, and nobody wants to talk about it, but it's a real thing.
It is what it is. I'm
So
I'm
yeah,
content
so
with what I got.
so schools like ours, they would totally increase that grade deflation like tenfold if so many people were doing so well, because they want to maintain their prestige. And like it's not a bad thing that a school wants to maintain its prestige, but at the cost of what? It's students, right?
Right. All right. Not so great idea overall, but
No, 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 no. Like I said, qualitatively, a really good idea. Because like when you think of it on the surface, why can't we do that? Why should education be not commoditized? In my opinion, I feel like education should be accessible to everybody, Everyone and everything in between. You know what I'm saying? Like it should be something that everyone can leverage, because otherwise we're just gonna all end up in ditches in the middle of nowhere and not progress as a
You're right.
civilization. But
I want there, in a perfect world, I'd want it to be hybrid, because I do believe that having institutions is a good thing because it promotes competitiveness and it does make people more, I don't know if passionate is the right word, but more determined.
yeah,
But
it's just such a hard question to answer. I think, quite frankly, and I mean, I'm not gonna drop a lot of Easter eggs, but I am technically working on remolding it right now with my quote unquote project.
what are
It's
you
just
what are
very
you
far off
corrupting it
goal.
from the inside, Pete? What are you doing?
No, man, I'm redoing it. We're creating a new system, but like I said, only Easter eggs for now. No releasing.
No release date yet?
Nothing else. Anyways, yeah, I think that, quite frankly, and a lot of people agree with me, that the system itself needs a complete revamping, because otherwise, right now, what we're working with is, it's only going to work up to an extent, and if it keeps going this way, then it's just going to implode within itself, and we're going to have a very interesting fallout to deal with.
I don't think
IMO.
complete revamp. I think just we need to take baby steps. Because if you change it right away, it'll lead to confusion and
Well, yeah,
frustration.
yeah. That, I mean, when I say complete revamp, I don't think that thing can just
Tomorrow.
impulsively happen in 1 week or whatever. Yeah, it'll take years, decades even. But if it so happens, well then, hopefully we'll be on a better path. But other than that, it's a hard ass problem to solve, man. It is so goddamn hard.
Yeah, I guess. Um, I guess that's all the time we have for today. This is the chilling out and reminiscing episode.
Reminiscing? I don't know if it's reminiscing. I
I think
just
this counts
I
as
like to think
reminiscing.
about.
We'll think about it. We'll write it in the
I'll think
description,
about it.
maybe, probably. With all that being said, I hope everyone listening enjoyed our little more relaxed episode. We always are happy that you're listening, and we hope we make your day a little bit better.
A little more positive. Not gonna say stay positive there. It just doesn't
Yeah, a
flow off
little
the
more
tongue. You know what
stay
I'm saying?
positive. Why not? Why not? Pete, what do we say? We always want a little more to stay positive.
A little more stay positive.
Yeah, no, that's our slogan, Pete. A little more stay positive. The world could use a little bit more staying positive. How about that?
Peace out, folks.
Stay positive.